Let's see what Dante Hall sees on the kick return. He's going to let it bounce into the end zone for the touchback. And here comes Trent Green.
Well, Trent has been back for 4 games now since he missed 8 because of that concussion. And the first couple of games, yeah, he was feeling his way a little bit, only a 68.2 rating. But then last week in that losing effort at Cleveland, he really found his stride. 4 touchdown passes, and admittedly, Trent now feels very, very comfortable. And what a serious injury that was.
Boy, he said, I seriously had to sit down and think about continuing my career. Play fake to Johnson. Green, incomplete. And he just plain missed Chris Wilson. Go back to Trent Green's injury. He was taken off the field in week 2, hit by Cincinnati's Robert Gathers. And his head slammed into the turf on this play, and he was temporarily knocked unconscious. He missed 8 games, regained his starting job week 11 against Oakland, and really hasn't shown any ill effects since then.
No, but he said for weeks afterwards, if he moved too quickly, he got dizzy, long-lasting effects.
This is Larry Johnson, and Larry Johnson not being able to gain very much at all. Franklin with the stop. Trent Green, he's very realistic about, if this happens in the future, then it's going to be another sit down and talk with the family and discuss things.
Well, concussions are a real serious problem in this game. But the good news for Trent Green is that he had never had one prior to that one. He did not have a history of concussions. It's when they start happening more frequently that they really become a problem. And, you know, people like Steve Young and Troy Aikman, that's why they got out of the game. But Trent Green said, look, I never had one before, ever, at any level. So he views that as a positive.
From the shotgun now. Green running out of time, throws over the middle, and that's tipped and intercepted at the 45. And Reed down at about the 35-yard line. His 3rd interception of the season, and Baltimore's 21st.
Imagine Ed Reed being in the middle of a big play. Who could ever imagine that? All right, we're going to get a good look at this from behind. A little pressure, and you can see Trent Green has to, and that's what created the whole thing, was the pressure. Trent had to jump out of the way, never got his feet set, and the ball just took off on him. And there goes Baltimore. Came in at 14, went to a plus 15, leading the league by 4. That's how you win football games.
They came in second to the Chicago Bears, who had 21 interceptions. They're now tied. McNair gives to Lewis. Lewis pulls his way to the 25-yard line and then some. And that would appear to be enough for a Baltimore first down.
Herman Edwards telling us that this Ravens offense, if you subtract the points they get off turnovers, is a 13-point-a-game offense. They average 21 points a game. He goes, we just can't turn the ball over. Punts aren't bad. In fact, punts are good. Turnovers will kill us. Well, we'll see what Baltimore's able to do with the first turnover of the game.
From the 23-yard line.
Yeah, Herman Edwards said the philosophy is very simple. The first thing they make you do is protect, and everything evolves from there. First down, Ravens. Lewis inside the 20.
Jamal Lewis on the carry. Tackled by Sammy Knight.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard pickup. There's Trent Green on the side. And the one thing you cannot do against this Baltimore team is make mistakes, because those turnovers, they have a history of giving their offense the football in very, very, very good position.
Well, turnovers do a couple things. One, they demoralize the offense. It's a long walk back to that sideline, but the energy that it infuses into the other team is incalculable.
Todd Heap in motion. McNair gives to Lewis. Lewis shakes off a tackle and makes his way to the 15-yard line. Now McNair,
Jamal Lewis, the ball carrier,
in some allowance for the noise, is wearing a sleeve that has all of the plays written up on it, and all Brian Billick has to do is give him a number.
Well, if there's a lot of verbiage in a call, a lot of times when the crowd noise is up there, the quarterback won't hear it on the first go. so the coach has to repeat it. In that time delay process, you end up being late getting the line of scrimmage. All they're doing now, it's number 11. It's number 14. A quick reference to his forearm. He's got the formation and the play. 3rd and 1. McNair has the football. Going to get a first down and then some. Out of bounds at about the 7. Will be 1st and goal. And the Chiefs decided not to defend that side of the field whatsoever, and Steve McNair makes them pay. Look at this on the bootleg. Boy, severely caught napping. The containment to that side, that's way too easy.
Trent Green can only watch and wait and see the results of the interception that he threw.
Steve McNair can talk to his young protege Vince Young and say, hey, you're not the only guy that can get out of the pocket, run for first downs.
On 1st and goal, this is Lewis. Inside the 5 to about the 3.
Jamal Lewis, the ball carrier.
And with 6 seconds to play in the first quarter, that'll be the final play. That's the end of the first. Baltimore 3-0 and threatening. We're back after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41.
Nurofen, fast, targeted relief for pain.
Freedom for backs. New heat patches from Nurofen.
Now this is my size net.
This is my backhand.
I saw it coming. This is my other team. No boys allowed.
That's my shoe.
There we go. This is my rink.
This is my walk home from the arena.
5'9" Steve Smith has emerged as the NFL's premier scoring threat. Don't believe me? He'll tell you.
If you say this ugly face, that means I scored.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know what to tell you about Steve Smith. Steve Smith, touchdown! Taking candy from a baby. I know somebody better pour water on that man.
Talk about a game-changing player.
You see me again.
Occasionally, we recruit people to emphasize the point.
I think he's back in the tape truck there somewhere. Huh?
2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Jamal Lewis behind Steve McNair. They'll keep it on the ground. And Lewis doesn't get much. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. That's Benny Sapp.
Yeah, Benny Sapp came knifing in right off the edge, and Lewis never had a chance. You know, for a play to get off right guard, which is where this is trying to go. Look at Sapp come in from the left there. Jamal Lewis never has an opportunity to get going. Gunther Cunningham had a good call there.
So Lewis leaves. McNair spreads the field with 5 receivers. McNair throws to the side. That's complete. Mark Clayton is buried.
And that is large for the Chiefs defense. It looked like Baltimore was on their way to a touchdown drive, and they're going to force them to settle for a field goal. Steve McNair is looking to the middle, can't find anybody. And this was, you talk about a safety valve, that might have been the fourth guy that he wanted to go to in Clayton.
So Matt Stover, who hit career field goal number 400 from 41 yards out, will now try this one from 23. And Baltimore is up 6-0. 13:34 to play in the first half. We're back after this.
As well as being a thirst-quenching soft drink,
Yes, that's right, Dave.
a Sprite is also a sort of goblin. This Sprite is not so refreshing at a festival. And it definitely hasn't got any taste.
Here we go. Right and left and right and right. Left and right and right and left.
Try new Sprite Z. Great Sprite taste, 0 added sugar.
Don't turn the ambilight on. I told you not to turn the ambilight on.
I warned you not to do it!
Simplicity is a button that transforms television into an incredible evening.
Play football. After patiently waiting for 2 years, Phillip Rivers' time has come to lead the 2006 Chargers. San Diego is loaded with offensive weapons, like all-pro tight end Antonio Gates and the explosive LaDainian Tomlinson, who continues to produce numbers, placing him with some of the all-time greats. This powerful nucleus will have San Diego fans charged up for another postseason run.
That's what the Ravens have done with their first 3 possessions. Couple of trips into the red zone. Field goals, 6-0. There's Dante Hall. Back at his own 3-yard line.
That was a good job by the Kansas City defense, though, forcing Baltimore to settle for 3.
Hall will run this one back. He takes it in at his 13-yard line. To the 30 in a hurry. Boy, he gets upfield quickly. Out to about the 34, 35-yard line. 13:27 to play. Trent Green goes back to work on offense in just a moment.
Call and text your T-Mobile mates more, so you won't miss a thing. One great rate on pay-as-you-go. Mates rates from T-Mobile.
Which, I ask, is the greatest Super Bowl team of all time? Log on to NFL.com/America's Game and vote for your choice now. First down. Larry Johnson. And Johnson out to about the 39-yard line. Terrell Suggs, Ray Lewis in on the tackle, make it 2nd and 4 after the 6-yard pickup. Kansas City missed a field goal, had to kick it away, and then Trent Green was intercepted.
6 yards on the carry. Correction, gain of 5 is 2nd and 5.
And are lucky to be down just 6-0 after a series of mistakes early on.
Well, the good news is for Kansas City is that in 2 red zone trips, Baltimore had to settle for field goals on both of them. That's frustrating to them. Good news for the guys in red.
Once again, Johnson. And a little bit more pushing and shoving.
Larry Johnson on the carry. He was tackled by Terrell Suggs.
These teams don't play each other often enough to dislike each other.
No, but it's steel against steel here when you've got a running game like Kansas City's and Larry Johnson, and a defense that prides himself on the fact that nobody can run the ball against them. And that all starts with Ray Lewis. He uses words like togetherness and accountability, and it's tremendous pride on the part of this defense of the Baltimore Ravens.
Larry Johnson has all 23 rushing yards. He's looking for the first down here, and he is right at the marker at the 44-yard line. Ray Lewis made first contact.
But if you're Kansas City, that's the way you stay with it. You hammer it at him. Ray Lewis, 52, right in the middle of your screen. He fills the hole. That's in the gap defense. That's his responsibility. LJ cuts right back into him, and guess what?
We get a measurement. I can't help but think of what DeJuan Landry told us last night. The rookie says the first time he met him, called him Mr. Lewis.
And why wouldn't you?
By half the length of the football. First down, Kansas City.
Good, solid, hard run by Larry Johnson. That's one of those deals where both the guys did their job really well. They just got enough yards to eke out moving chains.
Ten carries, 24 yards for LJ today. And he's going to carry it again. Looking for running room, and not a whole lot there. Across the 45 to the 47. Once again to JB in New York. James.
Hey, Greg, Cincinnati knows it's got to keep winning with the postseason in mind. Take a look at Rudy Johnson slicing his way 9 yards of pay dirt. That caps an 8-play, 59-yard drive, 14-0 over the Raiders. Greg Gumbel, Van Deerdorf.
JB, thanks. You know, this AFC playoff race is going to be fun to watch. Dan, you, me, and 9 other guys could contend for a wild card in the NFC.
Yeah, you're right about that. 8-8 might get in over there.
Larry Johnson trying to turn the left corner and is out of bounds at midfield. Hard-working Mr. Dynamite, James Brown in New York.
I wish I could still dance, Greg, but take a look. Eli Manning, Plaxico Burress dancing here. Nice touch pass. Hauls in a 28-yard TD toss. 4th straight game with a TD for Plax. 10-0. Giants. Back to Greg and Dan.
I want to talk to JB about that still dance thing.
Here's a look at the NFC East, where Dallas is firmly in control. And it's pretty obvious to anybody who watches football, Dallas is starting to play their best football late.
Trent Green with time. And a throw. Has his man at the 30-yard line. And that's complete to Dante Hall for a first down.
Boy, there's something you don't see very often against this ferocious Baltimore pass rush. And that is Trent Green, or any other quarterback for that matter, just standing back there surveying the field. Great job up front. And this is a timely pattern. Dante Hall running out of the slot. He's got all sorts of time to separate from Chris McAllister. Again, no Baltimore pass rush at all.
19-yard pickup. Michael Bennett is in the backfield now. Green steps up and got hit from behind. That's a fumble. Terrell Suggs hit him, and Baltimore recovered.
He came all the way around behind, and Trent Green had no idea the pressure was right behind him. Take a look at this. Suggs is going to go upfield and from behind. And it sure looked like that ball is out before Trent Green's arm starts moving forward.
Second turnover of the day by the Kansas City Chiefs.
TV Digital ist da. 14 Tage volles Programm. Top-Übersichtlichkeit im großen Format. Neu und einzigartig in Deutschland. Komplett mit allen Programmen von Kabel Digital Home. Plus ARD, RTL, Pro7 und Co. in einem Heft. Alle 31 Kabel Deutschland Programme mit Bewertung und allen Sendeterminen. Bestellen Sie jetzt Ihr Abo unter 080 5 99 77 44. TV Digital. Das ist die Zukunft.
NASN, the North.
Welcome back to Kansas City. Terrell Suggs, great effort and awareness before Trent Green begins the throwing motion. He's able to get a hand on the football. Take a look at this. Trent is just bringing the ball up right there, because you'll see right there he starts his throwing motion. The real trifecta for Suggs.
First back through is Moreeeee, and Moreeeee out to about the 33. That turnover ratio for the Ravens is now up to plus 16, #1 in the NFL.
Yeah, one more look at this. Watch when Suggs knocks the ball out. This isn't a throwing motion. That's Trent Green just bringing the ball up, because look, there's the throwing motion when he starts it right there. And you call it the trifecta because statistically he gets a sack, he gets a forced fumble, and he gets a fumble recovered. It's not bad for one play.
That's a full day. Yeah. McNair with the ball, throws far sideline, and that's complete, and out across the 45 to the 47 is Derek Mason. Longtime teammate of McNair's in Tennessee, and now here in Baltimore.
Yeah, I think these two know much about each other. They don't even have to hardly look at one another to know what's going on. A lot of years spent together, those two. 409. And how about the combination on the other side, even though Tony Gonzalez hasn't really gotten involved in this game yet.
This is Jamal Lewis, and Jamal Lewis spinning to the 49. Derek Johnson, who's been bothered by a sprained ankle, making that stop.
One of the things that Baltimore has effectively done so far by Kansas City turning the ball over a couple times, things have quieted down here at Arrowhead. The crowd, every other Baltimore possession, has been on their feet for every snap. Now most of the stadium is seated.
On 2nd and 8, this is Lewis. And Lewis across midfield and into Kansas City territory. Dan, I guess the Ravens were just as confused as a lot of people were. They explode in a win over Pittsburgh, and then they have a short week and they go to Cincinnati and they get beat by the Bengals, and now they come off of a long rest and looking very much like the team that we saw a couple of weeks ago against the Steelers.
And the loss to the Bengals was so exasperating because they had a chance to put themselves in the playoffs, virtually lock up and win the division, and they flopped. They just didn't get it done, scoring 7 points against Cincinnati. A huge disappointment.
3rd and 5, McNair from the shotgun. Penalty marker down. That is short of a first down. The completion to Dan Wilcox, but let's check the flag, which came in from the near side.
That was a poorly run pattern by Wilcox to begin with, that he came up, even without a penalty, he was still short of the first down.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 79 was off the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. Play results in 4th down.
Brian Billick with arms spread, wondering what that's all about.
Well, it's his right tackle, Tony Pashos, who's back off the ball. You got to be within a couple feet of the line of scrimmage. You got to have your helmet up there around the center's navel. Quarterbacks enjoy the protection their tackles give them. Tackles give them that protection, sometimes by cheating how far they get back off the ball.
Let's see if Cook gives Dante Hall a chance to run this one back. Hall is going to let it bounce. Oh, it's short, but then it takes a Baltimore bounce and is going to roll inside the 10 to about the 5.5-yard line. Timeout in Kansas City.
There was a moment there where I thought, that was a pretty doggone good throw. I can probably play.
My sophomore year against Thomasville, I only got 3 balls. And those 3 went for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. I knew right then that I was on my way.
And the stadium was rocking, it was packed. Got a total of 400-some yards. That's when I knew.
When people stopped calling me Archie's boy, started calling me Peyton, that was a big moment for me. Now this is my size net.
This is my backhand.
I saw it coming. This is my other team. No boys allowed.
That's my shoe.
There we go. This is my rink.
This is my walk home from the arena.
Experience all the best live NHL games on NASN. Log on to NASN.com for scheduling news and information.
7:01 to play in the first half. 2 fine running backs in action here today, and neither one of them tearing up the turf just yet. Larry Johnson in particular, 34 carries of 10 or more yards is the best in the NFL. Today, his longest run is 5 yards. And Green starts in a hole, and the give straight up the middle to Michael Bennett.
Well, so far the story of this game has been Kansas City and their mistakes, and they have been plentiful. Tynes misses a short field goal from 32 yards, barely, but it was a miss. Then we got the Ed Reed interception on a high throw from Trent Green. And then Terrell Suggs strips the ball and the fumble recovery. The good news is 2 fumbles, 2 turnovers have resulted in only 6 points for the Ravens.
On 2nd and 5, Larry Johnson with the running room. 30, 40, across midfield, still on his feet and out of bounds at the Baltimore 42, and a marker flies.
And I would say the crowd is now officially back in the game. That's what you got to do when you got a good running back. You keep hammering him and hope he'll make a big play. Right off a right guard, right behind a good block from his fullback, and then nobody untouched by the Ravens.
After the play was over, personal foul. Unnecessary roughness defense, number 55. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And then to top it all off, Terrell Suggs gets called for a personal foul after the run. But that's what you do when you got a good running back and a good running game. So you get a lot of runs. You're even going to have some for negative yardage. But you always have the chance of the big play. All right, let's take a look. That's a stiff arm by Johnson. Now he's being run out of bounds. Oh, and there, Suggs making contact with Larry Johnson when Johnson was already a yard or 2 out of bounds, and then throwing him even farther. That was pretty obvious.
47-yard run, add 15 more on the penalty. This is Bennett trying the right side, and met and down at about the 26. Kelly Gregg and Ray Lewis on the stop. Larry Johnson taking a breather on the side. We were talking at the very top of the day about the great tradition of running backs here in Kansas City, and Larry Johnson told us last night, you know, I had to follow a pretty good line of backs at Penn State, too.
Yeah, he sure did. And he talked about the pressure that was on him there. When you talk about the Franco Harrises and the Lydell Mitchells and all the great ones that had preceded him there. The guy has an acute sense of the game and its history.
Michael Bennett smacked down to the 25. Suggs and Bart Scott. Keep in mind, this is a Baltimore defense that has allowed just one touchdown in the last 12 quarters of play.
They're tough. They're stout. They're fundamentally sound. And you've got, realistically speaking, probably 9 out of their 11 defensive starters are really legitimate Pro Bowl candidates. Now, wait a minute. It's pretty tough to find a weakness on a group that has that many good players across the board.
Play fake to Johnson. Trent Green with time, throws over the middle, and that is intercepted inside the 10-yard line, and again, it's Ed Reed.
Well, that's a situation where Trent picked a spot to throw the football, and he chose the wrong spot. Trying to get the ball to where Sammy Parker can get there. He's going to throw to the spot where he thinks Parker's going to get to, and Sammy Parker just can't get there. But Ed Reed was already there.
Ed Reed has been Willie Mays today, playing center field and just catching anything that comes near it.
That's just Trent Green thinking that Sammy Parker, with his route, was going to take him to that exact spot. It's a risky thing for a quarterback to do, and Ed Reed had to see that baby coming 30 yards away and going, I can't believe it.
That's 3 turnovers for the Chiefs in their last 3 possessions. This is Jamal Lewis. And Lewis out across the 10-yard line as we come up on 4.5 minutes to play in the first half. Jared Allen making the tackle.
4 yards on the play is 2nd and 6 from the 10.
Well, you know that Trent Green has to be frustrated. All week long, you know, they heard nothing from Herman Edwards other than we can't turn the ball over. We can't play into their hands by turning the ball over. And that's all they've done so far in this football game.
On 2nd and 5 now, McNair will he'll keep it. And has all kinds of time. Throws over the middle, and that's complete across the 20 to Mark Clayton. Clayton out to the 30 and dives ahead to about the 33 or 34-yard line. That's a Baltimore first down, and we're at 3:45 to play.
Well, a nice catch by Mark Clayton. Again, Steve McNair, plenty of time, all hands right out in front of him. And then how refreshing is this? He's got the easy way out, working against Ty Law. Right there. Oh, just step out of bounds. No, I'm going to come back into the middle of the field, try to make a play, even though that means I'm going to get hit by a safety coming the other way. Good job, Mark Clayton.
Quick pass out here to the near side, and it's Clayton diving across the 35 to the 37.
If I'm Kansas City, the thing that I'm worried about right now is how comfortable Steve McNair is. Steve McNair is looking like he's just going 7-on-7 during practice, and he is
choosing what he wants.
He's in a real rhythm. There hasn't been enough pressure to force him out of it, and that's got to be a concern for Gunther Cunningham and the Kansas City defensive coaches. See, look at that. 8 of 9 after that 1 out of 4 start.
There's Gunther Cunningham, defensive coordinator. McNair to throw. That's complete to Derek Mason. And Mason out of bounds at about the 46-yard line, but enough for another Baltimore first down.
Well, this is pretty good work here by Baltimore on a drive that starts back by their 5-yard line. But again, look at the fact, look how much time he has to survey the